Men who suddenly lost your interest in someone but for a weird reason. What was it? Hi everyone, my first post here. For some context, my university has lots of international students, like hundreds every semester. So, I was getting to know a girl who is also from my homeland. And we got each other quite well. But after she made 2 other friends also from our homeland, she became to talk, go out and all stuff with her 2 friends around. Last Wednesday was a party organized by some old students so international students could get to know each other. And in that party I got to know some crazy but super nice Spanish guys. And this guy's actually made me the following question. Those 3 friends of you speak their language, right? Do they know how to speak English? Because they don't talk to anyone else besides them. In the moment I laughed a lot. But when I got home and thought better on it, I kinda understand his point. And I don't know why. All my interest for her was I was hoping to know if I should not consider this. Or if anyone else got similar stories. She used to talk about her ex so much that even I started missing him. This girl told me all the guys she would fuck at work. I couldn't believe she was telling me this. Their room smelled like feet and dirty socks. Might be hot for some, just not for me. She kicked a cat away. I'm team dogs, but would never kick any animal just to shoo it away. As shallow as it sounds, I noticed her tooth-to-gum ratio was way off and couldn't not look at it. My ex was shallow and insecure. We went on a lovely vacation to Barbados. As we were walking down the beach, holding hands, picking up sea glass of all kinds of colors, I'm just really enjoying the moment in time in a literal paradise with the girl I loved at the says. Ew. That woman shouldn't be wearing that bikini. It looks horrible on her. It was that moment I felt so many feelings just fade away. I had a girlfriend in high school that was in a performance, and watching her on stage one just sort of lost some of the attraction to her. IDK if it was the angle, the lighting or what, but during intermission I was talking to some mutual friends and she walked right by me and didn't acknowledge me at all. We had been dating for 7 months and that night I just decided I wasn't into her anymore. In the middle of drinks she asked me what I knew about Plan B. Then she informed me she had recently been sleeping with multiple guys, had taken Plan B, and has not had her period since. Then she said she worried she was pregnant and described some other symptoms. Later that night she texted me that she had taken a pregnancy test and was indeed pregnant. She was rude to her grandparents once and some other friends of hers were like, yup, that's her. She gets moody and rude sometimes. That shattered the perfect facade I had created of her and I was no longer interested. She stabbed me with a pencil. We were kids. I think she had ADHD or something. I saw her Twitter account and she posted some really weird things that didn't align with what she was like in person. Mean girls, if you are too cool or stuck up, it doesn't matter if you look beautiful. She made it clear that she couldn't accept me putting my son first. She blamed every goddamn problem in her life on someone else. He got piss drunk last night and was texting me stupid shit. And then was drinking again this morning. Ew. She wouldn't stop talking. Probably undiagnosed ADHD or something. At first I found it great. She was so easy to talk to. We had loads in common. But my God. Sometimes you just want to sit down and relax without someone talking at you for hours about random shit. She said I was pretty much a placeholder for her Army Ranger boyfriend to come back from training. Didn't know it at the time. But depression. Great relationship of 2 years down the drain. Thankfully that was just high school. Suddenly stopped feeling it and thought it was BC of going off to college and shit. Turned out no. That was just a really bad emotional slump and fucked up a great thing. I immediately disassociate with people who don't prioritize themselves and lose themselves even more by overextending themselves for others at the cost of their self-worth. They are not bad women at all, but it turns me off rather quickly. Had a one-sided crush on a classmate in high school. Before I could tell her about it, I got to know her better as one does. It was the weirdest thing, cause one day I went home thinking about her. And the next day I just came to the sudden realization the feelings were gone. Wasn't anything she did or said. It was just like someone flipped a switch and I didn't have a crush on her anymore. She was a bit too religious. Apart from her baby daddy being around all the time and they breaking up 2 months ago. The fact that I tell her I'm busy so she just calls me on the phone. Her, what are you doing? Are you busy? Me getting ready for something happen? Her video calls with her best friend. Her kids. Her friend's kids beside her. This happened today, by the way. And in all honesty, I just didn't want to talk, so I made an excuse about going to work. I'm unemployed, but she doesn't. No. If she did have an emergency, I would have called. Now she's mad because I don't want to go visit her tonight when I get off work. When she told me with a straight face that there were almost 1 billion people in the US, and most were illegal immigrants, that was when I knew there was no hope of us becoming anything more. I found out she had the same last name as me. I realized her chin was very pointy. A girl I was dating was horrible to waiter that was super kind and gracious and doing his best to make the best of a bad situation. Then she talked about badly him when he walked away. That was the end. Dated her for almost a year. Brought her home that evening and ended it and never saw her again. Her car stank of old sweat and rotting fish. This is kinda embarrassing. But how often she had sex. She told me that since about 5 years she fucked with someone at least one per month without any exception. I don't want to disrespect none one or sound like a purist, but by doing basic math and also her telling me she was with another guy 3 days before that day, it was an instant turn off to me. Forehead vein that I couldn't stop staring at. My freshman year of college I dated a girl that was a pretty solid 8, but she always complained about any outdoor activity that required the slightest exertion. Sports, hiking, bike riding, or just walking. Even though I liked her personality, I broke up with her assuming she would sooner than later become fat and even more lazy. Forward 20 years. She's very obese and I can only assume she's still lazy. She said voting was stupid. On a first date out to the movies, walking through Chinatown, she said she hates it, it's so dirty and chaotic. I try to explain how chaos can be beautiful. She doesn't get it. Movie is American Beauty. Movie has scene explaining how trash bag blowing in wind is beautiful. Date doesn't get it. Date hates movie. No more dates. I was smashing this squirter. Shit was awesome. But my interest dropped to 0 when afterwards once her dog jumped on the bed and started licking up the wet spot. She didn't react to immediately shoo him down. A dog shouldn't be doing that. I did and she was like, what are you doing? That was the beginning of the end. She had gained maybe 20 pounds in the 3 months I'd known her. The squirting was awesome, but I couldn't stop wondering if she let her dog lick her pussy when I wasn't around after the above-mentioned incident. She pledged absolute submission to me and started acting it out. I think she got confused cause I take pride in manhood and enjoy doing guys' stuff. But she confused it with machism or something. I thought of her as equal, challenging, fun, entertaining. And right there and then something just switched off and I couldn't reason through it. I had to accept she was not for me. For that weird reason.